Hey, what's up guys? So this is a sponsored video. LD Player has graciously gave me a sponsorship, so I'm gonna run a pre-roll clip real quick.
Do I really need to do this myself?
In picking up LD Player, you can find the link down in the description. I've made the changeover to myself and it's running a lot smoother than what I was using before, so make sure you grab your stuff down below. Peace. What up, boys? Alright, we got some balance changes. Let's go through them real quick. This isn't a first reaction. I've already looked at them, but we're going to talk about them in a little bit. It's itty bitty, right? How do I angle that? It's a small change. There's only 5 units here. One of them you can completely disregard, basically. 2 of them you can completely disregard, basically. And then there's changing 2 artifacts. I'm gonna yawn a couple times in this video. It is 5:30 in the morning. I work a lot. I work like 50 hours a week. I'm sleepy, and I don't sleep much. Okay. So first of all, we got our boy, Mediator Kerwick, mediocre Keckwick. This is the unit I wanted to get buffed. I have him. I pulled him right when I came back from the game on accident. I accidentally went to the Mystic banner and I accidentally pulled him. I'm not kidding. That's how I got him. But I was like, I'm not even mad because he's gonna get buffed. And he's looking to be the best dispeller in the game now for PvP. Let's go over the changes real quick. We don't need to talk about what he did before. We'll just talk about what he did after, right? So, I think before he just gave combat readiness to another unit, right? And then now he gives it to himself too. So this is what they add. Every time he uses his S1, he gives himself 15% CR and an ally a 15% CR. He's a health bruiser. Right, and then we got balance of power, attacks the enemy with the Mediator's power, dispelling all buffs. So now he has a full buff strip on his S2 that grants a barrier to your team. This was a very shit ability before. It was complete trash. I still don't think this fits with his kit, but it kind of makes him more of a support. The damage and the barrier strength is increased, so we got to see what kind of scaling it looks like now. Maybe this hits really hard, right? And then this is the big thing, okay? Like, this is his S3. So, basically, he dispels all debuffs and he gives an attack buff, right? That's what he did before. It's got a pretty long cooldown. I think he reduced the cooldown to like 4 turns or something. But now, we just have to look at the one down here. Oh yeah, he grants immunity too, which is good, right? So, increases combat readiness of the caster by 50%. And then, when this skill is available at the start of the turn, decrease the debuff duration of the caster by 1 turn. So if this guy gets a 1-turn stun on him, 1-turn silence, he's slept, basically any form of CC unless it's a 2-turn, which is like a Wanda stun, right? This unit cannot be stopped from cleansing the team. It can't be stopped. And with that being said, he's a cleanser that doesn't need to rely on ER. He doesn't need to rely on ER at all. So you can actually build this guy full support bruiser, and he can do the job of DJ Bassar. He can do the job of Maid's Cleanse without having to build this massive 250 plus ER to be able to resist all of these units that just punish you by building effectiveness. This is the kind of unit we need in the game. We need more of these, to be honest. This is the direction I think the game needs to go because of how bad effectiveness and effect resistance is. This removes the whole 15% chance shit, right? Well, not in that regard, but like, you guys know how effectiveness and effect resistance work, right? Like, you have to have 100 more effect resistance to completely nullify the fact that they have effectiveness, right? So if they have 200, you have to have 300 to rule out being resisted at all. Granted, you still got that 15% chance, but you know, there's also items like Cursed Compass, which just gives them a gigantic fucking boost in effectiveness, making it basically like impossible to stop units like F10, Angel of Light, basically those two stupid fucking units, right? But he doesn't need the effect resistance at all, because it just literally just falls off of him whenever he starts his turn. Like the silence falls off, the stun falls off. He's very good now. Like, he's very good. He literally got made Chloe treatment. I know a lot of you guys don't have him, and I'm sorry, but I'm a believer. I liked his design. I thought he was a really cool looking unit. I like Kerwick as a character in general. I haven't built the red one, but like when I saw an ML one, I didn't even look at his kit. You know, that's right when I came back to the game, he was on the banner. So I was like, he looks really cool. And you know, like I looked at his kit, I was like, damn, he sucks. And I accidentally pulled him. But I'm looking forward to using him. This is a very good unit for me, because I struggle into AOL drafts kind of, but now I can draft 2 counters to it, right? Because before I would pick Maid, and they would just ban my Maid and I'd lose, right? But now I could pick Maid and Mediator Kerwick, who's not going to be a completely dead pick, because he still grants my team immunity, right? He still can do damage. He can still give me barriers and stuff. I do think with him being more popular, that makes Landy a bit stronger, because he's a buff grant. He gives 3 buffs in his kit, so does give Landy a little bit more value. LQC is really good right now. I think this makes LQC a little bit better as well, because he's going to be drafted a bit more. LQC is, she will one-shot him, right? So that's my thoughts on Kerwick. I think he's really good. If you have him, congratulations. You just got the best cleanser in the game. One of the best support units in the game. Hands down. He's going to be used a lot. So, yeah. Very high-end competitive unit. He's going to be very good. Then we have Ida here. And I'll be honest, I didn't even know what Ida did before. I don't have her. No one uses her. So I never felt the need to know what she did, right? I'm just gonna go through her new skills and I'll read them, and this will just be like a base reaction to like what she does, right? So they changed her soul burn. I see that here to an extra turn. I don't know what abilities these are. Like, this is her S2 or S3 or what. This is awakened, so I'm assuming this is S3 and this is probably S2, right? Attacks the enemy with shards of ice. 75% chance of defense break for 1 turn. Okay, defense break is nice. I'm guessing this is her S1, so she gets defense break on S1. This is her S2. Attacks all enemies, dispelling 2 buffs before decreasing combat readiness a random amount between 15 and 40%, and then gives skill nullifier. Okay, that's a very stacked ability. That's pretty good. Absolute Zero releases energy to attack all enemies with an 85% chance to stun for 1 turn. When an ally uses a non-attack skill, and this skill is available, increase the combat readiness of the caster by 20. That's really good. And then she gains a CR push for all of. Wow. So this guy could be like with Ran, right? So like if Ran pops his S2, she gains CR. That's really cool. I kind of wish I would have got Ida from. Damn. I could have grabbed Ida from the selector, but I grabbed a Crow. That was just Covenant coins. I kind of wish I would have grabbed her, because I think she's pretty good. This is a cleave unit now. I think it's a very good cleave unit. Granted, this is countered by Poultice still, but she's a blue unit, so drafting a blue unit into Poultice is pretty good. I'm not saying her ability is countered, but like her gaining CR is triggered by another unit using a non-skill or a non-attack ability, right? And then she gains CR. That is countered by Poultice, and then she will gain less CR. Okay, so, and then Celine is around. Celine's gonna be good into a blue unit just because she's green. I think she's good though. You might start seeing Ida pop up in some cleave drafts. I think she's very good with Ran. She's good with CDOM. Like, you push CDOM up And then CDOM gives CR, and then she gains extra CR. And then she boosts your team up again. Yeah, I think she, like, in another meta, right, where Cleave was really dominant, this unit would be absolutely insane. But, you know, with the likes of Violet and Rim being around, I think her kit is nice. But I don't know how good she's going to be outside of this, right? In the meta as is now. Maybe if the meta shifts a little bit and a little more into her favor, she'll be a really good unit. But I think she is a good unit, but this ain't her meta. Then eufine, all they really changed here was they changed her soul burn to give her extra here. So okay, I was like, her S3 doesn't have any buffs. Like, what are you extending? So she has this effectiveness buff here. So basically, you soul burn. She gives herself an effectiveness buff, I guess, so that you could S3 into S2 strip more reliably. I think this doesn't really make a difference. I don't even know who was sitting around thinking, oh, we need to buff eufine. You know what she needs? She needs an effectiveness buff so she could strip more reliably with her S2. I don't think that's what she needs, but I mean, there are some people. I used eufine as a stripper in early season 2 before I quit the game, just because she was another option and people didn't expect it, right? I like drafting stuff people don't expect, but I don't think this really does anything. She's a little bit better, but this, I don't know. Her S2 still an AoE. Rim's still around. I mean, she's decent into Rim. She can one-shot Rim with S3 and then maybe S2 whatever's left on the team or something. Sure. And then we got my girl BBK. BBK, I believe, no, Shadow Rose was my first ML4 star. I think BBK was like my second. On my alt account, I made a plus 15 BBK. They used to call her the account destroyer, right, or whatever, because molas were very far and few between, and people would like to plus 15 BBK and dump all their resources into her because she was good and she was fun to use, like in the early stages of the game. She was like one of the really good cleavers in Guild War, but she's kind of fallen off as of late, right? But basically, they just kind of gave her the maid treatment as well. They made her kit stacked as fuck, okay? And it's tuned for the meta. So let's go over this real quick. So before, when she killed someone with S1, she would gain 50% CR. Now she just gains 15% whenever she S1s. That's free speed, right? And then when something dies, she gains what would be the 50 before. So they just added 15% CR gain on her S1. On her S2, her passive, at the start of the battle, they just give her immortality. This unit just has immortality at the start of the game, so you cannot kill her until she takes a turn, unless you strip that off. This is another anti-cleave unit. But she can be good in cleave too, mind you. It's going to be interesting. I think BBK is going to be very pickable. She's going to be really good on counter set. She's going to be a good dark single target bruiser. And the fact that she gives herself attack buff now for her S1s. It gives yeah, like, so she grants herself attack buff on her S3 after she S3s, so she won't keep, she doesn't give herself before, which is fine. But they added cannot be countered to her S3, which is really big too, because, you know, like right now counters are a problem, right? Violet's a problem and Rim's a problem. So Rim actually is shaping the future of how this game is going, because they need to address the counter issues. But BBK is really good. I have one, mine's like plus 13. I have Mediator Kerwick. I'm going to be building them both. I will do content for them, I'm sure. I don't have Ida. I'm not going to use eufine because her buff doesn't mean much. I'm not even going to talk about this thing down here because nothing really changed. A few minor buffs. They removed the fact that, you know, she was restricted to using earth elemental stuff. But I don't see what's good. It's kind of like increase the runes here, right? A little bit better for PvE. And they buff Black Hand of the Goddess a little bit so that the decrease isn't as big. And then Shepherds of Chaos, I have this artifact at plus 30 because I made this artifact plus 30 when Ryle first came out. I don't think 10% defense is enough. But I think this might be pretty good for BBK. Counter BBK I think is going to be decent on this artifact. It gives her more defense, right? It says an artifact increases evasion, defense, its health decreases. However, many thief heroes could not benefit from the artifact as their base defense is low, and they could not stay up longer during the battle once they're attacked. I don't know why they think 10% defense is going to make a difference. Most thieves have like, what, 450 on average defense, so this is going to give them 45 defense. You think that's going to make a difference? I mean, if you already have like maybe 1350, then that 45 is going to be a little bit nicer to look at. You know, if you can jump up to the 1400s instead of the 1300s, it'll look a little nicer, I guess. So, whatever. This is also coupled with BBK's passive too, because BBK actually gets defense with as her health decreases too. So you get that effectively twice. So I think they buff this to couple with BBK. I can test them both. I already have them done. I just got to throw gear on BBK and try her out. So that'll be a video in the future, I'm sure. I'll try to draft her. I like the unit. I've always liked BBK's design. So, but yeah, that's gonna be it, guys. I'm not gonna talk too much about this. The big ones are BBK and ML Kerouac. I think Ida is kind of nice looking, and that's about it. Shepherd's got a little buff. It's kind of nice. But yeah, that's going to be it, guys. Let me know what you guys think down in the comments. Do you have ML Kerouac? Do you have BBK? Are you looking forward to using them? Answer these questions down below in the comments. And hit the like button. And hit the sub button. That way. Right? Yeah, hit the sub button over there. Hit the bell too.
You'll be so much more useful once
Later.
you're dead.